Hello, so we are going into chapter 11 again, but this time round it is on the 11.2, which is the physical properties of amine. Okay, so let's have a look at the learning outcome first. So by the end of this session, you should be able to compare the physical properties of amine untuk boiling point. Sama ada kita ada buat dua comparison lah, beza in terms of the class of amine, primary, secondary and tertiary. And then kita akan tengok juga if kita comparekan amine with other classes of compounds such as alkane, alcohol, carbonic compound, and also haloalkane and also carboxylic acid. Okay, so ada banyak kita nak tengok nanti. So lepas tu kita akan tengok solubility untuk primary, secondary and tertiary amine. So let's have a look dekat boiling point dahulu. So different classes of amine have different boiling point. Okay, so kalau both primary and secondary amine, they can form hydrogen bond among themselves. So between primary amine with another primary amine, diorang boleh form hydrogen bond. Secondary amine dengan secondary amine pun boleh form hydrogen bond. Why? Because nitrogen ada lone pair. At the same time, ada hydrogen yang attach kepada kita punya primary and secondary amine. That's why dia boleh form hydrogen bond. Okay? Tapi, apa beza antara primary amine dengan secondary amine? Primary amine, they can form more hydrogen bond compared to a secondary amine. Nanti kita tengok macam mana dia, which part dia akan membentuk the hydrogen bond sebenarnya. So what about tertiary amine? So tertiary amine has no hydrogen kan? So tertiary amine with another tertiary amine, they cannot form any hydrogen bond then. Okay? Tapi keep in your mind tertiary amine, diorang adalah polar bond. So polar bond meaning diorang boleh form dipole-dipole forces lah. However, not hydrogen bond. Okay? So as a result here, you can see that tertiary amine, it generally boils at lower temperature compared to a primary and secondary amine, because primary and secondary amine has a stronger hydrogen bond between them, meanwhile tertiary amine doesn't have any hydrogen bond between them, so it has a lower boiling point then. Okay, so that's why dia punya susunan adalah tertiary amine followed by secondary followed by primary amine. So boiling point increases in that order. Okay, so tadi Miss cakap nak tunjuk kat kamu the hydrogen bond kan. So this is one primary amine, this is another primary amine. So as you can see, between the H dengan N of another amine, dia boleh form hydrogen bond. So ini pun hydrogen bond juga with another amine dekat atas ni maybe. Okay, ini pun hydrogen bond juga dekat atas ni, sini pun hydrogen bond juga kat bawah ni, ini pun ada hydrogen bond juga. Basically, satu primary amine boleh form up to 3 hydrogen bond. Tapi tak payah cakap pun lah ada berapa banyak hydrogen bond dia boleh buat. Yang penting adalah you know that primary amine can form more hydrogen bond compared to secondary. So let's have a look dekat secondary. So as you can see, secondary, since dia cuma ada satu H je, so dia kurang satu H compared to primary kan. So that's why the secondary, the less hydrogen bond yang dia boleh form. Okay, so kalau ada satu secondary ni, dia boleh form dua aja, this part dengan this part. Okay. Meanwhile, as you can see, tertiary, walaupun dia ada lone pair, tapi dia ada satu lagi syarat yang dia tak ada. Kita kena ada hydrogen yang attach kepada F ataupun O ataupun N. Okay, tapi there's no H yang attach kepada F, O ataupun N. So that's why tertiary amine dia tak boleh nak form hydrogen bond. Okay, that's why dia punya boiling point adalah the lowest compared to secondary ataupun primary amine. Okay, and then ini just nak cakap pasal primary amine. Okay, so primary amine disebabkan dia ada hydrogen bond ni, dia boleh form between the lone pair of the nitrogen atom. Okay, and then with the hydrogen atom of another molecule, tapi dengan syarat hydrogen atom ni sebenarnya dia perlu attach kepada F, O ataupun N. Okay, so that's why bila dia ada hydrogen bond, dia boleh form hydrogen bond, so dia has a higher boiling point then. Okay, so the boiling point of ini pasal hydrogen bond. Okay, tapi kalau kita compare primary amine to another primary amine, so sekarang ni yang main peranan sekarang ni bukan hydrogen bond dah, because primary amine A boleh form hydrogen bond, primary amine B pun boleh form hydrogen bond juga. So kita tak boleh guna pasal hydrogen bond dekat sini. Okay, so the only comparison we can do is number of carbon atom yang ada. Okay, so tapi if we talk about carbon atom, so it's no more about hydrogen bond, it is about van der Waals forces dah sebenarnya. Okay, so the higher the number of carbon atom, therefore the stronger the van der Waals forces, so higher boiling point then. Itu kalau sama-sama primary. Okay, So as you can see ni ada 1 je carbon, ni ada 2 carbon, ni ada 4 carbon. So of course yang menang adalah yang lagi banyak carbon lah, sebab van der Waals dia lagi kuat. Okay, so kalau secondary amine pula, dia punya, kalau kita compare dengan primary amine, so of course dia punya ni lower, dia punya boiling point lower because it has less hydrogen bond compared to the primary amine despite having the same number of carbon atom. Okay, so disebabkan walaupun dia masih lagi boleh form hydrogen bond, tapi disebabkan the nitrogen, bila dah secondary ni, nitrogen ni macam dah dekat tengah-tengah kan, so dia punya polarity tu dah berkurang dah sebenarnya. Okay, so in terms of strength of dia punya polarity tu pun dah kurang lah. So dia punya intermolecular forces is slightly less. Okay, in terms of dia punya dipole forces dia. So less hydrogen bond, less energy needed to overcome these forces, so lower BP. Ini kalau kita compare dengan primary lah, so less hydrogen bond. Okay, tapi kalau kamu compare dengan tertiary, you can just say that secondary amine has hydrogen bond, meanwhile tertiary amine tak ada. Okay, so kalau yang tertiary amine ni, so there aren't any hydrogen atoms attached to the nitrogen in tertiary amine. So as you can see, tak ada hydrogen yang directly attached kepada nitrogen, meaning it is impossible for the tertiary amine to form hydrogen bond between its molecule. Antara tertiary dengan tertiary, dia tak boleh nak buat. So disebabkan there's no hydrogen bond, so the boiling point is much lower. Okay, so since primary amine have 2 hydrogens available for the hydrogen bonding, so we expect them to have a higher boiling point compared to a secondary. Okay, which in turn should meanwhile secondary amine pula, which should be higher than isomeric 3 amines pula. So kenapa dia mention about perkataan isomeric ni? Isomeric ni bermaksud amines with the same number of carbon. Okay, so kalau primary, sebab dia ada more hydrogen bond boleh dibuat, higher boiling point. Secondary amine pula, despite having the hydrogen bond, tapi less hydrogen bond, sebab tu lower boiling point than primary amine, tapi higher boiling point than the secondary, the tertiary amine, because tertiary amine tak ada hydrogen bond. Okay, I was actually distracted by something sekejap tadi sebenarnya, ada something berlaku, so sebab tu tergagap sekejap. Okay, but I hope you have the idea dah apa sebenarnya untuk yang ni, apa this part cakap sebenarnya. Okay, alright, so now kita nak compare amines with other classes of compound. Okay, so kita akan comparekan dengan alkane, kita comparekan dengan haloalkane, comparekan dengan carbonyl, amine, ada alkohol dengan carboxylic acid. Okay, so yang ni dah susunan dia dah increasing boiling point order dah sebenarnya. Okay, so as you can see, yang dekat sini sebenarnya kelas termasuklah sampai amine, daripada carboxylic acid, alkohol dengan amine, semua ada persamaan. Semuanya boleh form hydrogen bond. Okay, tapi kenapa carboxylic acid yang paling kuat? Sebab dia boleh form dimer hydrogen bond. Okay, kenapa pula alkohol has a higher boiling point compared to amine, sedangkan dua-dua boleh form hydrogen bond? This is because oxygen is more electronegative daripada amine yang ada N. Okay, so that's why hydrogen bond dalam alcohol is stronger compared to the one dalam amine. Okay, so what about this other three? So tiga-tiga ni dia tak boleh ada hydrogen bond, so obviously dia jadi lagi rendah dia punya boiling point. Okay, tapi alkane the lowest one, always the lowest one, because dia adalah non-polar compound. Bila dia non-polar bermaksud dia cuma boleh form London forces. Tapi what about these two? These two adalah polar compound. Okay, these two adalah polar compound. Tapi polar compound tu ini bermaksud dia boleh form dipole forces. Okay, tapi hydrogen bond tak boleh. Okay, dia boleh form dipole forces sahaja. Tapi haloalkane lagi rendah lah, sebab usually kita akan tengok untuk Br dengan Cl. Br dengan Cl tu less electronegative compared to antara C dengan O. O lagi electronegative daripada kita punya X kat sini. Okay, so carbonyl group secara general lagi tinggi boiling point dia compared to haloalkane. Okay, so amine has a higher boiling point than the alkanes. Haloalkanes and carbonyl compound of similar molecular weight due to the presence of hydrogen bond. Macam saya cakap tadi, amine ni ada hydrogen bond. Yang daripada amine sampailah carboxylic acid ni ada hydrogen bond. So dia lagi kuat daripada yang 3 kat bawah ni, sebab 3 kat bawah tu tak boleh nak form hydrogen bond. Okay, tapi amine has a lower boiling point compared to alcohol dengan carboxylic acid with similar molecular weight, because the hydrogen bond, despite boleh buat hydrogen bond, the hydrogen bond of amine is slightly weaker compared to the one yang dalam alcohol dengan carboxylic acid. Okay, because nitrogen is less electronegative daripada O. Okay, so ini dia dah cakap NH bond in amine is less polar than the OH bond dekat dalam alcohol and also carboxylic acid. Okay. Alright, so as you can see here, sini kita ada compound, ada banyak compound dekat sini, ada 7 compound with a very similar molecular weight. Semua ni around 59 to 65 dia punya molecular weight. Okay, jadi boiling, tapi we can see that the boiling point adalah sangat berbeza. The lowest one ada dekat sini, negative 0.5. That is because it is a butane, alkane. Alkane has only apa ni tadi, London forces saja. It only has the weak London forces. It is a non-polar molecule kan, so it has the lowest boiling point dan okay. Meanwhile yang the highest adalah carboxylic acid lah. Carboxylic acid the highest because dia boleh form dimer hydrogen bond. Okay, so followed by alcohol. Okay, because alcohol dia ada hydrogen bond tapi hydrogen bond biasa je, bukan dimer punya. Okay, tapi kenapa 1-propanol pula lagi tinggi daripada semua amine yang ada? Despite semua amine kita boleh form hydrogen bond, that is because polarity of N is lower, ataupun kita boleh cakap pasal electronegativity of N is lower compared to O, ataupun kita boleh cakap NH bond is less polar than the OH bond pun boleh juga. Okay, so you can try to do this. Okay, so this 2.0 here adalah pasal kamu kena arrange in order of increasing boiling point. Okay, so sama ada tengok dulu sama ada kalau semua amine, and then try to classify the amine. Kalau lain-lain bukan amine sahaja yang ada, and then kena tengok dia boleh form hydrogen bond ke tidak, and so on. Okay, right, and then kita tengok kepada solubility in water pula kelas. So all amines they are soluble in water due to the ability to form hydrogen bond with water. So primary boleh form hydrogen bond with water, secondary amine boleh form hydrogen bond with water, tertiary amine pun boleh form hydrogen bond with water. Jangan confuse dengan yang boiling point tadi. Boiling point we are talking about tertiary amine dengan tertiary amine sendiri. That's why dia tak boleh nak form hydrogen bond. Tapi now solubility we are talking about the tertiary amine with water. Okay, so tertiary amine with water dia boleh form hydrogen bond. So I think primary, secondary you have the idea macam mana dia nak bond. Tapi what about tertiary amine? Kenapa tertiary amine boleh form hydrogen bond? Kita nak tengok yang tu lah. Okay, so basically all amines they are soluble in water. Okay, so that is because of the dia boleh form hydrogen bond with water. Okay, semua secondary, primary, tertiary. Okay, so as you can see ini adalah primary amine. So primary amine dia boleh form 3 hydrogen bond with water. So ini adalah primary amine. So ini water, ini water. So dekat H dia ni boleh form hydrogen bond. Dekat N boleh form hydrogen bond. Satu lagi H yang dia ada pun boleh form hydrogen bond dekat sini. Okay, so primary amine dia boleh form 3 hydrogen bond. Meanwhile secondary amine pula macam mana? So dekat bahagian N dia, ni secondary amine. So dekat bahagian N dia boleh form hydrogen bond with water kat sini. Even the H yang ada dalam secondary amine pun boleh form hydrogen bond with water kat sini. So untuk kita punya secondary amine dia boleh form up to 2 hydrogen bond with water. So macam mana dengan kita punya tertiary? So untuk tertiary walaupun dia tak ada hydrogen atom, tapi nitrogen dia ada lone pair. Ada 2 syarat hydrogen bond. Syarat dia adalah FON tu sendiri kena ada lone pair, itu satu. And memang obviously 3-3 tu ada. Okay, lepas tu satu lagi syarat dia adalah hydrogen yang diorang nak buat hydrogen bond tu, that hydrogen itself perlu attach kepada F ataupun O ataupun N. Okay, so now let's have a look. So this one adalah tertiary. Kita punya tertiary amine. So tertiary amine there's no H kan dengan dia, semua R, tapi jangan lupa dia ada lone pair dekat sini. Okay, and then water kita pula, water kita ada H obviously. Okay, so this H pula macam Miss cakap tadi, the H must attach to F ataupun O ataupun N. So this H menepati that particular characteristic. Okay, whereby this H attach kepada O. So that is why boleh ada hydrogen bond dekat sini. So tertiary amine ada possible untuk dia form hydrogen bond with water, walaupun satu je lah dia boleh form sebenarnya. Okay. So solubility in water basically macam sama je, macam dia punya order sama macam yang dia punya boiling point tadi. Tertiary paling rendah, followed by secondary, and then primary paling tinggi. So kenapa? So depends dengan number of hydrogen bond yang dia boleh form with water lah. So tertiary can only form 1, secondary can form 2, primary pula boleh form 3. Okay, so lagi banyak hydrogen bond dia boleh buat, so lagi soluble in water dan okay. Tapi solubility akan decrease if the number of carbon increases. Okay, sebab bila number of carbon increases, bermaksud the hydrophobic area pun akan increase juga. Okay, so waktu tu the solubility akan decrease lah. Okay, meanwhile aromatic amine pula, what about aromatic amine? So aromatic amine is actually less soluble in water compared to aliphatic amine because of the benzene ring. Okay, so because of the huge benzene ring menjadikan dia punya van der Waals forces dia kuat dekat situ. So benda tu akan, kiranya kita cakap yang hydrophobic area dia besar lah sebenarnya. Okay, menjadikan dia punya solubility in water is less than. Okay, so now try this 3.0. Okay, so arrange the following compound in order of increasing solubility and then explain your answer. So what should you do then? Semua yang diberi pada kamu kat sini adalah amine. You just have to try to classify them. If they have the same number of carbon, and then kena kira number of carbon. Apa Miss cakap tadi? If they have the same class, kalau kamu ada amine tu adalah kelas yang sama, let's say secondary dengan secondary, and then you have to count the number of carbon. Okay, tapi kalau kelas dia semua berbeza, then you can just cakap pasal hydrogen bond, number of hydrogen bond. Okay, alright, bye bye, itu sahaja.